Hello everyone, good morning. It's time to start the day. Grab your coffee, your favorite beverage, shine your light and light the way.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. It is March 18th, 2026, and it's time for Good Morning Coffee and Talk. I'm Dolly. You are not. And welcome to the Wolf Girl Oracle. Okay. Good morning, Katie. It is good to see you, my sweet sister. Good morning, Kelly. It is good to see you too. Good morning, and good morning, Flowing. It is good to see you. Good morning. And you know what, Flowing? I'm hoping everybody is okay today, too. I'm hoping that everybody woke up happy and feeling good. And if you didn't, I hope that you will throughout the day. Good morning, Jen, my neighbor to the north. How are you? We're supposed to get into the 50s this weekend, Jen, so hopefully some of our snow will go away. I am so tired of the snow. I am done. Scotty, pack your bag. You've been here too long. Go home now. You go home now. You've been here for 9 months. Go home. Oh my God. So yeah, good morning. Good morning. I hope you guys had a fun St. Patrick's Day yesterday. Did you cook? I cooked. I made corned beef. But I did not make cabbage. I made mashed potatoes and I made corn, sweet corn. So that's what we had for St. Patrick's Day. And, I know that the Irish people did not eat corned beef. I know that that's not a thing there. But it truly is a thing here. And it's been a thing here for a long, long time. And like Katie once told me, when all the Irish and Jewish immigrants were all flooding into New York, corned beef was a very inexpensive meat to buy. It's very fatty, it's not a desired cut. So people found lots of creative ways to use that cut of meat, and corned beef was born out of that. So although it is not a Irish from Ireland experience, it very much is an Irish from United States experience, a immigrant's experience. So I feel like it's very appropriate for us as Americans to celebrate St. Patrick's Day, and of course, St. Patrick's Day has nothing to do with people coming to America, but that's what it turned into. And like for Chrissy and Devante, they're very Irish, okay? They really, really enjoy having corned beef on St. Patrick's Day, so I made it. Oh, I think you did tell me that you're not in Campbellsport anymore and that you're back in West Bend. And that's good because Campbellsport scares me. Campbellsport scares me. I had nothing but scary things happen to me in Campbellsport when I was growing up. My cousin Ann's grandma lived in Campbellsport, and all kinds of terrible things happened to me at her farm. Like being attacked by cows. Oh my gosh, being attacked by cows. That was the scariest thing in the universe. You never want to be attacked by raging, hungry cows. You do not. Ay vey. Janet says, I had Greek food in an Irish neighborhood. Well, there you go. You know what? I just feel like it's great to just to celebrate, because there is no American culture. There are things that are definitely American, like jazz, but as far as like a universal culture for a country, we really don't have that. What we have is we have pockets of culture from the places that our ancestors came from, and I think it's neat to celebrate all of those things and all of that diversity and all of that, whatever brings a sense of community to you and to the people around you. I feel like that's a good thing, Lots of craziness and lots of drugs and alcoholics. Yes, I have encountered that. Some of Rick's cousins still live in Campbellsport. So, yeah. I'm just not a fan. So West Bend, though, I like West Bend. I like West Bend. I like how it's a small town feel with all the big town amenities, right? You still can get to anything there. You're not that far from Milwaukee, so like coming down here for like all the festivals and stuff like that is not hard, right? So I like West Bend. Rick lived in West Bend for a while, and it was fun. I had fun there. I had fun. I'm not going to talk about, if you know what I'm saying. Um, Katie had chicken tamales. Not not Irish, but that's okay. We have a great opportunity to taste it all. That's right, we do. There is so much. I mean, Milwaukee is such a foodie city, um, because it is divided into all these little pockets. Italian people kind of gravitate in this section, Polish people in this section, Asian in this section, Hispanic in this section, Black in this section. And you can go to any one of those little pockets and get really great, authentic food from that particular culture or that particular nationality. So I love Milwaukee for that reason. That's one of the things about Milwaukee that I love so much. Yes, and only 20 minutes north. That's right. And we got to get together, girl. Let's go have coffee or something. It would be fun. I'm not scary. Well, yes, I am a little scary, but I'm scary in a good way. Janet says it's good to be a melting pot. We have a big earth. It is good to be a melting pot. We will have a big Earth Day in an STL park in April, and that is also my community. So woo, and eco, my people, yeah, rock on, yeah. I don't know what we're doing for Earth Day. What day does Earth Day fall on? Where's my phone? Let me, one moment, talk amongst yourselves. I just need to see what day Earth Day falls on. It's a Wednesday. It's a Wednesday, so Chrissy will be working. So I may just go to a local park. We have McCarty Park. I have Euclid Park. I've got like all kinds of parks around me. I got Honey Creek Park right over here where the river is. I'm going to go around there and I'm going to just clean up garbage. That's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do for Earth Day. I highly recommend that as a Earth Day activity, to like pick up all the garbage that might flow down into streams or rivers or lakes, get that garbage up. And I hate putting stuff in the landfill, but I'd rather it be in the landfill than in our water. So helping to clean things up is like an absolutely amazing way to say, Gaia, I love you. So let's see. Jen says, I need to get to the east side to Oakland gyros. Not scared of you at all. Just no transportation. Well, I can pick you up and we can go get gyros. Absolutely. Janet says, usually Earth Day celebrations are on the weekend. They do a river cleanup here on the weekend. So if that's happening, I may try to talk Chrissy into going to do that too. I might be having surgery too, though, so I can't make any solid plans right now for anything. Dang nabbit. Flowing says, I need to look this up because I forgot. Was Earth Day started by a serial killer? I don't know. I don't know. Can somebody please look that up? I don't know. I had no idea. There goes Spirit. 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 Kitty, kitty, kitty. Hi, baby kitty. Oh, you never come in here when I'm doing my show. Oh, so sweet. Look at this sweet girl. You guys always get to see Clarity, but you never get to see Spirit. Come here, baby. Oh, look at this pretty girl. This is Spirit. Oh, isn't she sweet? Look at her pretty green eyes. Oh. I love her very much, and she's very sweet. Look at her big paws. She has very big paws. Okay. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you. Now I am furry. Oh, the cats are like dropping their coat. Katie says, I'm planting and tending my veggie garden for Earth Day. That sounds good. Earth Day was inspired by a California oil spill. Okay. That kind of makes sense. But I mean, we should celebrate Earth Day every day, you know. Makes me nuts. Makes me nuts when I see people throwing garbage out of their car. You can't just wait till you get home and throw it in the garbage can. What is wrong with you? You know, years ago, I wouldn't do this now because the world has gotten too crazy, but years ago, I saw somebody throw something out of their car, pulling out of a McDonald's. I stopped. I picked it up, and when we got to the next red light, I followed them. I went over and I said, you dropped this, and I threw it in their car, and I walked away. Ooh, did they take off? I scared the crap out of them. Because I'm very scary. Let's see. Katie says, I think the Zodiac Killer killed some people on the first Earth Day. Carter was president. Oh, so that's maybe the serial killer link. Crazy. Earth Day is my vegetarian vegan anniversary because I can't remember the actual date. It's been more than 50 years. Wow, you've been a vegetarian vegan for 50 years? That's incredible. Good for you. That is really something. That's neat. What made you decide to become a vegetarian/vegan? Oh, hi, Annie. Well, I hope that you have a good and productive doctor's visit today. Is everything okay? Are you and do I need to pray for you? I'm going to pray for you anyways. Let's all visualize Annie having a safe trip to and from the doctor. Let's pull down that green healing light right into our crown chakra. Let it roll through our bodies, through our head, through our neck, through our shoulders, through our arms, into our fingers. Let's gather up that beautiful green energy, bring it together, and send it out to Annie in the Pacific Northwest. And so it is. You betcha, Annie, anytime. You pray for us all the time. So you betcha. It's just a checkup thing? Okay, good. Well, I'm hoping that after you're done with your doctor is going to be like, well, that was boring. Right? Because they're not going to find anything. Well, this is a good thing, Janet. Janet says when she was a child, she didn't want to eat my friends. That's good. Kelly is getting ready, but oh yeah, Kelly, we got to pray for you too. Let's pull it together for Kelly. The same thing. Pulling that green light down, that healing energy, and some violet light too. Love and friendship, camaraderie and support. Let's pull all that down into us, into our crown chakra, and gather up that energy in our hands. And we're going to send that out to Kelly so that she has a good treatment today with no problems, no issues, and it leads ultimately to her healing. And so it is. Love it, love it, love it. Yeah, I really, this is, why did you say that, Janet? Why did you say when I was a child I didn't want to eat my friends? Okay, so does that mean that as an adult? No, we're not going there. Oh. Oh, I get it because you're a vegetarian. Oh my gosh. This blonde is real, okay? This blonde is, well, this gray blonde is real. All right, we are praying that Kelly's infusion is completely compatible with her system and has great antibodies in it. Yes, that is it. That's what we are visualizing. It is just going to lift you up and heal you, and you are going to feel strong, full of energy. And I am visualizing you cooking, baking in your kitchen like a mad woman because you got so much energy. That's what, or crafting. Yeah, that's what we are saying today. Katie thought the idea of Earth Day was amazing. I remember the first one very clearly. I planted a tree. That's awesome. We've always done cleanups wherever I've been. Like every job since Envirotest. Well, when I worked for Envirotest was an environmental company, so we really did stuff for Earth Day. We took half the staff and just went out and cleaned the neighborhood at every station. That's just what we did. For Earth Day to show and it was great for the community too, because the community would come and talk to us and say, hey, what are you doing? And we would talk to them about what we do and blah, blah, blah. So there was like this good PR thing happening too as a result of that. But I always loved that. I always loved, it's garbage has always bothered me. I feel very blessed because Milwaukee is a very clean city. For the most part, it's a very clean city. I've been to so many cities across this United States, and they looked terrible because there was garbage everywhere. And I think that people just get immune to seeing the garbage. But all that ends up in our water and in our soil. And that's just not good. So, yeah, we got to get out and do something. There's Spirit again. Look at her. Spirit. Oh, you're very welcome, Kelly. Katie says, back when Earth Day started, it was a big thing to plant a tree for Earth Day, so I planted a silver maple. Ah, I love those trees. Janet says, cool, Dolly. I worked fire. I worked fire and environmental cleanup company too decades ago. Nice. Yeah, I mean it is important that we do the most that we can, for our Earth Mother. She takes care of us so tenderly. She really does. Everything on this planet is beneficial to us in some form or fashion. Sometimes it's just for making oxygen, but everything that comes from the earth is beneficial to us in some way, or beneficial to the ecosystem that it protects, right? So Jen says, shit. When I went to the mill Sunday for my grandbaby Kayla's christening, and on the way down, once we hit the city, I was like, this is the first time I saw so much trash in the streets and yards. Yeah, and a lot of that happened because we had that early snowstorm, in November, before they even had picked up the leaves, before they even had a chance to do like a final street sweeping before winter. It snowed and all that got buried all winter, and now it's all being revealed. So yeah, there's big cleanup efforts happening here in Milwaukee right now, so they'll eventually get a handle on it, but right now it does look nasty. So anything that I can do on my own when I see it, I'm going to do, you know. In fact, I'm going to start taking a bag in my little grabber along with me when I go take my walk every day. And I'm going to just start cleaning up garbage in the neighborhood because, yeah, it's a thing. It's a thing. Flowing says, Gaia is amazing. Yes, she is. We are so blessed. Katie grew up in the National Park Service and lived in national parks. There's no way I could not be an environmentalist. Yeah, right? Jen says, never been so much before that I have seen. Maybe it's mostly from the winter. Yeah. And you know, we had the snow was kind of weird. Well, not weird. The snow was snow this winter. We had like regular Wisconsin snow this winter. We would get a bunch of snow. It would start to melt. It would start to get dingy. Then it would snow again, you know, and then it would melt and it would start to get dingy and then it would snow again. And this went on the whole winter. There was never a time where Milwaukee could get a handle on everything that was buried, you know. So it's going to be a interesting spring down here in Milwaukee. It hurts to see the pollution and toxic waste. Yes, 100%. Flowing says the winds are carrying garbage all over the place. Yeah, they are. Not just garbage, but garbage dumpsters. The other day when my power went out, I was sitting in the living room and I literally watched a parade of empty dumpster. The garbage man had just came, emptied all the garbage bins. The garbage bins are sitting out there on the road. And I'm seeing a parade of garbage bins just go shuffling down the street. I'm like, uh-oh, I got to go do something about that. So I ran out. My neighbor Donna also ran out. Or was it Kathy? Kathy ran out. And we took the dumpsters back to the houses that they came from. And I pushed them like right up against the curb so they couldn't like drift away again. Oh my gosh. Funny stuff. Kelly says, we forget even the medication like my chemo came from the earth. Everything that we use does, even if we have modified it to make it unrecognizable. Yeah, everything comes from here. That's right. Every single thing. Kelly, nature provides many wonders, Flowing says, and I would have to agree with her on that. Hey, Barb, how's it going, my friend? Good morning, everyone, she says. Good morning to you. I'm happy to see you. That is great. Oh, I got to take a drink of water. So, I don't know, did you guys ever get a chance to watch that Chase Hughes video I was talking about last week? I've subbed to his channel now, and I've been watching a lot of his videos, and this guy is full of information. I really enjoy watching his videos and learning from him. You know, I'm learning a lot of things, and I highly recommend him. Chase Hughes. He is a former government CIA, how do you say it? Psych op. And he just lays it out and tells you everything that's going on. And I just love it. Yeah, Katie says, Dali and I were talking fractals this morning. Yes, we were. We were talking fractals this morning. I love fractals. I love how much you see those repeating patterns out in nature, like in flowers, you know, like the middle of a sunflower. The way that it just sort of fractals out from tiny to large, you know, you just see it so many places in nature. And see, that is, to me, proof that there is a higher power, because the intention in the design is genius. You know, it's genius, like super genius. So, yeah, whenever I see patterns of design, I think there had to have been something behind that created that. Like, if the wind blows a box of toothpicks down onto the floor, it makes kind of a scattered random pattern, right? And you can say, that was circumstance. But when you see toothpicks all lined up in a row on a table, one after another, after another, after another, you understand that there was intention and design behind that. And I see that when I look out into the universe, or I look at the center of a plant, a flower, you know, or a seashell. There is beautiful intentional design in these things, you know. What does Kelly say? There's another guy I think you would like. I'll send it to you, Rachel, because he talks about the way we are being manipulated and also about love, and that we are not, and that we are all one. I would love to. I would love to read that. Katie and I were talking about that this morning. We were talking about the illusion of separation, you know, the illusion of separation. And ever since mass media has become a thing, so we're going back to the Stone Age, right? Because we think of mass media as being computer or television driven today. But as soon as the printing press became a thing and things started getting printed, propaganda has been used to create this illusion of separation. It's deeply embedded in our culture too, and it's purposefully being done to make people feel that they are isolated, self-contained, self-contained beings, and that's not the truth. At the core of our soul, we are all connected. At the core of every plant's soul, we're all connected. At the core of every animal's soul, we are all connected. At the core of every alien being that is out in the universe, we are all connected. There is no separation. The separation is an illusion. 100%. And these purposefully driven methods being used to promote individuality is happening to force division between us. Because if we all really deeply understood that we're all one, if we truly did that, there would be no power on this planet that could stop us from making this a better world. But they don't want a better world. They want a controlled world. They want a world that they can exploit. So they create these illusions of separation that aren't real. They're masks. And they're masking the fundamental oneness of all of us and everything. Yeah. So yeah, send me that, Kelly. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to go on to a preaching tangent. Flowing says the divine is real. Yes, yes, yes. Barbara says I used to get a fractal calendar every year. Ooh, fractal calendar. See, I would be cutting all those fractals out and they would all be hanging all over my walls in here. Katie says trees are the perfect example. Yeah, as above, so below. And every you look at the big tree and then you go in a little bit closer and you look at the branch and then you go in a little bit closer and you look at a tiny little branch and with leaves coming off of it and you go in even closer and the leaves even look like trees. Yes, you are so right, Katie. Yeah, right down to the veins on the leaf. Yep. Janet says, remember Emoto, the man who photographed the frozen water crystals? Clean natural water gave beautiful fractal-like crystals. Polluted water crystals were jagged and irregular. That's right. That's right. We want the beautiful fractal-like crystals, for sure. Training us to be alone on an island. No man is an island. That's right. I believe everything is a fractal of God. Each is a drop in the ocean. That is God, a cell within you, if you will. Teresa, I didn't even see you come in because I was jibber jabbering. So good morning. Hello. I love you. I'm glad you're here. And you were right. Kelly says, yes, once I made a website, a fractal is a pattern in your neighborhood. It is so cool to look at the fractals. Oh, yeah. Everybody's saying hi to Teresa. Hugging Teresa. Teresa saying hello to everyone. Rock on. Quantum mechanics is my favorite scientific topic. I know. We talk about that a lot. It mixes spiritual and math. It does. It really does. I truly believe, and this is not my Christian background talking, I truly believe that they will never find the 0 point of the Big Bang. They will never find that. Because they're not taking into consideration the intention behind that action. And there is an intention behind that action. And you can keep going smaller and smaller and smaller. You can go down, you can take those primary, primordial, however you say that word, elements, and break them down and break them down and break them down and break them down, fractalize them, but you will never get to nothing. Because there isn't a nothing, because there was an intention. Think about that. That's what I'm saying. Janet says, strange how an herb or leaf or nut resembles the body part it helps. So deliberate and beautiful. Oh, that's true. I never thought of that. But that's true. Janet, I can't learn anything else today. My brain is full. It's going to start leaking out of my ears. But yeah, wow. Teresa says, bingo. Katie says, if water pours down, it also pours up at the same moment. And we see that when you use the high-speed cameras, and you actually do a high-speed camera of a faucet with water coming out, you actually see the water going up. It's wild. Janice says, ha 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 ha, because you blew my mind. Yeah. Ah. Kelly says, is that like, will you ever get there if you always walk half the distance? Oh, Kelly, now don't make me think. Don't make me think so early in the morning. I haven't even finished my first cup of coffee yet for the cry eye. Oh, you smart girls. Stop it now. Oh, funny. But yeah, getting back to the whole illusionary separation theory, I really feel like we are seeing this unraveling a bit. You know, Katie and I were talking this morning about the dark energy that is kind of whisking through things right now in the flow of the collective. And a lot of that is people just starting to unravel and panic. There's a lot of that going on right now. The more that comes out of our president's mouth, the more people are starting to panic, because it is impossible to hide how off his rocker he is now. You know, first we had, you know, Six Finger Benjamin Netanyahu. When are we going to get Six Finger Dumpy? Because you know that's coming. Because he is not controllable anymore. So one really good way, there's like several ways that you can tell AI. They're getting very good about the face. But the blinking, is very rhythmic. And if you look at their throats, especially on the men, because we know women don't have this, but on the men, you never see their Adam's apple move. And if you watch that Benjamin Netanyahu video with the 6 fingers, he's got a tie on. He's got a shirt and tie on. But you can see the top part of his Adam's apple. And as he's talking, it is not moving. So, oh no, Janet now has the image of people literally unraveling. Well, that, you know what? If you could see their spirit, I think that what you'd be seeing is like a tornado whipping around where they stand. Just a tornado. Their auras, instead of being a solid color, are flashing. Just flashing. Chrissy and I went to the grocery store the other day, and I see auras. And I couldn't believe how many blinking, flashing auras I was seeing as we were walking through the grocery store. It like blew my mind. It made me go, Chrissy, we need to kind of get out of here. I don't want to be in here. I don't like this energy, I don't like what I'm seeing. So we did. We hurried up and we got our stuff and we got the heck out of there because that was a little bit weird for me. So yes, there is some stuff going on. Let me tell you, they are unraveling. Unraveling. Oh, I already did that with Kelly. There was another one from Kelly that I just saw that I knew that I missed. Well, I'll find it. That is actually the description of what Mercury retrograde is, what you're talking about there with the camera. And Kelly says, you're making me think. No, you're making me think. No, you're making me think. I love that about us. I love that we have these kinds of conversations, right? I do not need any more vapid in my life, honestly. So thank you. Thank you guys for allowing me to talk about sometimes some pretty heavy, weird stuff, but I love that we can have these conversations because we're all smart people here. Teresa says, the thread has been pulled. Bye-bye, sweater. We can save the yarn and make something new. Yes. Oh, I love that, Teresa. Katie says, dark energy is desperate. The pimple is feeling squeezed. That's for sure. And that's nasty. But it is necessary. That infection needs to leave, right? The length of time between blinks is the obvious giveaway because the 6 fingers, also the lighting is never correct on the skin compared to the background. Right. Yeah, and like, if I remember correctly, there wasn't a shadow, and the camera was straight on to his face, straight on like this, straight on. Now, if you know anything about television lighting, they do 3-point lighting, okay? There's always lighting behind you and 2 lights in front of you. A flood, a fill, and usually a flood or a fill in the background, depending how close to the thing behind you are, right? Now, he looked pretty darn close to me to that background, and they were shooting straight on, and there was no shadow. I don't think. I'd have to go back and look, but I don't think there was a shadow. Like Teresa says, they could be reknit into something new. Yes. So instead of having a sweater, we are going to, what are we going to make? What are we going to make with our yarn? Janice says, seeing auras could be a blessing and a curse. It is a blessing and a curse. It is. I don't talk about it much because I don't like it when people are like, what color is my aura? What color is it? So I usually keep that little gift to myself a little bit. I kind of keep that contained. But it is disorienting. It can be disorienting. How do you say that word? It disorients me. Is that a word? Why does that not sound right? It confuses me. It can be very confusing as I'm driving or if I'm trying to make my way through a store, it can be very, I mean, I get sensory overload anyway with my autism. Add some blinky, flashy lights in there too, and it's awful. Weird is welcome here. Woo! Yeah, I don't see a lot with plants. Somebody asked me about that just recently, which is weird, about whether or not I can see auras with plants or animals. On animals, I can see a very, very thin, light color. And with plants, though, not so much. I don't see it with plants. I think that maybe if I concentrated hard enough and stared at plants long enough, I might see something. But with people, I don't even have to think about it. It just happens. So why? I don't know. It is what it is. What I'm experiencing is people that are MAGA out there are more angry and argumentative about Trump. I believe it's because they feel foolish and don't want to admit they were fooled. I think that you're right. And I'm hearing more and more people coming out and actually saying that, saying, hey, I really believed in this guy. I really believed the things that he was saying. And I fought so hard and lost so many friends over following this guy. And now I'm finding out that he has been fooling me the whole time, and I feel like an idiot. I'm hearing more and more and more people saying that. There's so many former MAGA says type shorts on YouTube and on Facebook now, and the Facebook Reels. These things are popping up left, right, and all over the place. That makes me very happy. I'm very happy that people are coming, that are coming to see him for what he actually is, and is recognizing that JD Vance is going to be more of the same, if not worse. Because this whole thing, with all the division, with all the hate, with all the craziness of starting wars and doing all these things, is to distract away from the real issue. And it's not the Epstein files. The real issue is JD Vance is weak. So the airways have to be filled with all the things that Trump is doing and saying to make JD Vance look like the saner option, and to keep him from being in the news all the time. Although the Epstein files are part of it too. Part of the construct is obviously because of the Epstein files. But all of this really is about JD Vance. Right now, these 4 years are being spent placing people into positions of power that can support JD Vance when he becomes president. So at your any government job, at your DMV, the TSA, your local library, any government job, whether it be city government, county government, state government, or federal government, people are being positioned into places where they can help manipulate things for the people who are in power. This is happening right now. And Project 2025 said this is exactly what's going to happen. And it's happening. So all this with Trump is nothing. It's nothing. He's an idiot, but he is not the real concern. The real concern is what comes next. And we have to fight hard to ensure that that man doesn't become president. That is going to be very, very important. So the more MAGA people that we see coming out saying, hey, I'm realizing I was duped by Trump, you need to celebrate them, put your arms around them. Don't say, I told you so, I told you so. Don't do that. Put your arms around him and say, I see you. You are a human being. I love you. How can we make the future better together? That's my soapbox for today. And now you guys have all been talking and I'm way behind. I'm sorry about that. A fractal is a way of seeing infinity. That is very true. Infinity blows my mind. The idea of infinity blows my mind. Yes, it's a very hard time being around a Trump supporter. Their ego is so very bruised in addition to everything else. Yes, and we need to send them love and healing and clarity. We need that more than anything. Katie says, wow, very good. I never thought about that. I'm thinking about all the AI photographs and videos that I have seen in the last couple months, and I don't recall it. I don't recall if any of them had the shadows. Yep, if the shadows aren't there, they're not real. Kelly says, wait, but what color is my aura? I can tell you exactly. I've never seen your aura because I can't see it through video. I have to be in person. Unless you're really pissed off. That I can usually see a little bit. But I already know that yours, it probably swings between blue and violet. You know? I think most of you probably have that. What's up, weirdos? Yeah. Chrome. Man City Man Life. I do not see auras. I feel their energy a block away. Yeah, I get a little bit of both. I'm glad y'all get my weird sense of humor. It's not weird. It's normal. Everybody else is weird, Kelly. Jen says, and so when Trump is gone, one way or another, Vance will be in power and be a wimp and will bend over for other rulers. Yep. We do not need his shit in our house. Everything is tied to Trump, Russia, Epstein. Yeah. And the consolidation and distribution of a coup. It's a coup. That's what's happening right now. Is a coup. It is a takeover. Yes, he is. Oh, Katie and I were just talking about that not that long ago, Katie. Remember? Like 2 weeks ago or so? Trump is their puppet. Yes. And so will Vance be. They were setting things up to support Project 25 years ago. Yes, they were. Like deconstructing the post office. Yes. When they went away from federal workers to independent contractors. Well, not independent contractors, but yeah, that's what they are. Yes. Barbara says, I went to a thrift shop the other day and it was so full of stuff. It was too much for my energy and I had to leave. That has never happened to me before. Yeah, that happens to Katie a lot too. Jane the Seeker! Hi, Jane! How are you? I am so happy to see you. I hope you're feeling better. All the way around. Oh, I love you. I'm glad to see you. Vance has changed his name so much. Who really knows who he is? He is owned by, right? He is owned by those who want to put a Q-chip in our brains. I know it. Hey, there's Chrissy. I love you, Chrissy. You must have got done with your showing a little early, hey? So you're able to come. Aw, that makes me happy. Clear those things you buy and leave them in your garage for a while. Yeah. Katie says, I cannot shop at a used product store. I feel the previous owners. It is overwhelming. I also smell them. Yeah. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, Taz Naughty is my wife, Chrissy. Chrissy says, sorry, I missed almost the whole live. I was doing a showing here at work. Never feel sorry about that. You've got to do your job. You got to do your job. I'm a kept woman. I need you to make money. No. No. by saying hi to Jane. Chrissy says, was. So yeah, you know what? I didn't read an affirminator, so let's get that. Let's get our affirminator for today. Oh, Katie, the next card in line is awesome. It is called abundance. Abundance. Oh, it's backwards on camera, isn't it? I'm sorry. Congratulations. It seems you're due for a little piece of abundance pie. Feel like you don't deserve it? Knock it off. It's already plated and ready to hit your table. Reluctant to take it up? Shut your pie hole. Abundance pie is big enough to serve everyone. So get your whipped cream ready, unless you're lactose intolerant, and enjoy your well-deserved metaphorical dessert. So abundance. Katie had for the card of the day today, she had the 3 of Cups, which is also kind of, it's an abundance. It's an abundance card. It's a card to help you think about your abundance, you know. And I think that that's pretty neat that, you know, both her card and the affirminator kind of matched today. That's neat. Thank you, Spirit. All right, I'm going to do a quick little reading for everybody, for the collective here in the chat. Let's find out what Spirit has to say about navigating the rest of the week. I'm going to continue with the Trust Your Vibes Oracle because I love this deck. Trust Your Vibes. Of course, it's backwards, but there you go. Trust Your Vibes. I got to fix that. I got to mirror my screen or something. I don't know how to do that on here. I may have to fiddle around with it later and figure it out. But anyways, let's ask the angels to protect us. Let's ask the spirits of the land and my home, the Landvitir and the Husvitir, to surround us. And let's ask the ancestors to give us wisdom. What do we need to know for the rest of the week, Spirit? Please and thank you, and I love you. Yeah, definitely send some heat to us, Katie, because we certainly need it. We are so done with the snow. You don't even know. Chrissy cannot handle it when her car is dirty. So this snowing it once a week thing is making her nuts, and it's costing her a fortune in car washes. Right, Chris? Oh. All right, the first card is instant feedback. And this is like Mercury in retrograde in a nutshell when it comes to communication. At least it has been for me. Getting a lot of like snap reaction to things that I've said or things that I've done. And I found myself snapping too the things that people have said and done. You know, there's just been a lot of this instant feedback. And you know, you see this hand, it's reaching up towards the bees. Now, if she would have just paused and thought about this for a second before reaching up to grab the hive, these are probably wasps, actually. Looks like a paper wasp nest. She would have thought about this a little bit more clearly before she did it. Maybe the current situation that's about to happen wouldn't have happened, you know, and I feel like Spirit's saying we've got a couple more days of Mercury being in retrograde, and then we have the shadow, which lasts about a week, 5 to 7 days, and then that's going to be over with. So right now is not a good time to have any really hardcore discussions with anybody. It's not a time to do anything with contracts or that kind of thing. It's really not even a good time to start anything brand new because you might, because communications just are hard right now, you know. Don't be judgmental of others right now. Kind of rein that in and be like, okay, let me be in their shoes for a second here and try to figure this out, because that can lead to a lot of arguments. So Spirit is saying, let's just be careful with that. All right. And the next card is, Chrissy says, I need my car washed. Live and learn. And this is a great card to follow this card. I mean, that's a clear message from Spirit. And Spirit's saying, don't beat yourself up. Don't beat yourself up over things that might have happened, during the last week or so. You can choose to wallow in guilt and shame, or you can say, I'm sorry, and learn a lesson. And grow. Look at all the growth around this lady. All these beautiful growing flowers, these emergent butterflies. And she's above a cup of plenty, and she's saying, live and learn. So let's do that. Don't beat yourself up. Beating yourself up does nothing. It does nothing. I mean, lessons do need to be learned. But once you've come to the conclusion, once you've said, you know what, I could have done this better. I could have said this better. I could have done this action better. Once you come to that understanding, there's no reason for you to keep rehashing it over and over and over in your head. There just isn't. You just say, I'm sorry. And sometimes for the ego, that's hard. That's hard. But that's all you got to do. And the people who love you are going to forgive you no matter what. Because we all have days. We all have days where we're... Yeah. And then the last card is trouble ahead. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that trouble is around the corner, so you better watch out. What it does mean is always be observant. If you're riding a bicycle with a blindfold on, eventually you're going to hit a tree or a person or a curb and go flipping off your bike. Okay? So basically, Spirit is saying, just keep your eyes forward. Be mindful of what's going on around you. Don't live in fear. If I'm afraid to fall, I could dress up in one of those crazy fat sumo wrestling suits and just walk around like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man and be like, well, hey, there you go. I am protected from falling. Nothing's going to happen to me, but then I might get struck by lightning. Just keep your eyes open and use common sense. That's what Spirit is saying. Just use common sense. Don't let yourself become so distracted that you don't see the trouble that's ahead. Okay? Because that's how you avoid getting into trouble, right? All right. Woo! Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let it go and let it grow. That's right. That's right. That's what our friend Sonia says all the time, doesn't she? Let it go and let it grow. That critical voice is not mine. It is my dad's. So many of us have that, right? So many of us have that. Katie says, I'm just staying in the flow right now. Nothing seems normal anymore. Well, maybe maybe nothing seems normal because we were living in such a way that we didn't see what was real. And now we are. Now we're seeing things for what they really are. And that truth is unsettling. It's very unsettling. And it's okay to feel unsettled. I know as spiritual people, I think that we try really hard to be okay all the time or appear okay all the time. Because we don't want people to think that we're weak or that we don't know what we're talking about, But we're human beings, damn it, and we're going to have days. We're going to have days where we are weak and where we can't just let it go, you know? That's going to happen sometimes, and that's okay because we're human beings. We're all human beings and we're all experiencing it together. So never beat yourself up over something that happens, you know, but don't wallow in it either. Let things heal. And yeah. You'd still like the video of the costume, please and thank you. Which costume are you talking about? I'm sorry. I've got like a tickle in my throat. I have 10,000 costumes. Which costume are you talking about? I have a wolf costume. I have... Have a good day, Chrissy. Mwah. I will talk to you later. Katie says the concept of perfection is a total fraud, and I feel so sorry for people who buy into it because they're headed down a big road of heartache. Yeah. The sumo inflatable? All right, listen. Go on to Amazon right now. Go on to Amazon right now and just put in sumo inflatable costume, and it will come up for you. It makes you very big. With the winds that we had the other day, I bet I could have put on that costume and just rolled down the street. I saw a squirrel barrel roll down the street, and his tail was going woo, 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 as he was going down the street. And I saw a dove. Poor dove fell over and was like blah, 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 down the street. And I'm like, oh no, these poor animals. Oh my God. The sumo inflatable. Janice says, the truth can be exhausting. That's why we need periods where we avoid the news. That's exactly right. I just stay away from the news because I don't believe any of it anyways. I don't believe any of it. Every story that comes to you via headline is fake. Or there is some twist in it that is, you know, purposefully designed to cause you to have an emotional reaction. It is fake. You know, back in the day, there was this thing called MK Ultra. It was a government sponsored horrible thing that was being done to people. Some of them didn't even have a choice. They were just, this was being done to them. They were given all kinds of drugs and put through all kinds of torture. And the sole purpose of that was to reprogram the brain. Can we take a human brain and completely reprogram it using drugs and torture so that we can control how this person behaves? And they discovered that, yes, indeed they could. But then they discovered that it doesn't necessarily need to take high doses of LSD or other hallucinogens. It doesn't take that. All you need to do is set off the dopamine in somebody's brain. And as you're sitting on your phone and you're scrolling through Reels or you're scrolling through YouTube Shorts, every time you stop to watch a video, you get a burst of dopamine. Boom. Boom. Which makes you want to scroll to the next video. Boom. Which makes you scroll to the next video. Boom. And before you know it, hours have passed. And you've been completely distracted and controlled. It's a thing, you guys. It is a thing. Janice says, by news, I mean the filtered through people, our community, who are probably communicating the truth. I gotcha. in your community, in the community. I gotcha. But the mainstream is just as is terrible. It's horrible. Katie says, or it's designed to get you to watch me and not Joe over there. His channel doesn't have as much controversial truth as mine does. I will keep you informed. I'm so sick of the breaking news bullshit. Yeah, me too, honey. Especially on YouTube. Now, here's something to think about. I'll leave you guys with this because I see it's 11:07. And I know this isn't very high vibe, and I apologize. At least we got some laughs in today. But, sometimes we need to just talk. But I want to leave you with this. All right. Understanding that the news headlines are a construct designed to control us, to get us to think a certain way, feel a certain way, be a certain way. Oh, maybe I shouldn't say this. You know what? I'm going to take my advice from my card and I'm going to just stop right there. Someday we'll talk about this, but it's not going to be today. It's not going to be today. This is too much, and I don't want to leave us on a sour note. Katie says such things that different platforms are having to pay millions and millions of dollars out of their families of young people who suffered depression and the S word because of this very thing. That's right. You're very right. Yeah. Hi, Lee. I love you too. I never understood what it meant by plausible deniability until the last 15 years. You got that right. So, okay, it's after 11. I'm going to end the program now. I love you guys. Thank you for hanging out with me and letting me jibber jabber. You guys bring so much love to my life, and I love you guys so much. You guys are, I'm so glad that we have a place where we can talk about the things that maybe we need to be talking about, because in the end, the thing that we have is each other. We have each other. And that is so important. We've got a support group. We have got a tribe. Like Katie says, together we'll thrive, right? I feel so grateful to have you guys in my life. You don't even know. You don't even know. This is so important to me. And having this platform to be able to talk about the things that I'm thinking or feeling or finding out means the world to me. You don't even know. All right. Well, anyways, what is Janet saying here? On a bright note, I'm very grateful for the warming temperatures and the bright sun in St. Louis right now. Yeah, I'm very happy that we're going to be getting some of those warmer temperatures. Now, make sure that you roll it up, Janet. You throw it up to me because we need it up here in Milwaukee. Because I'm done. I need to see the green grass. I need to see trees budding. I need to see flowers. I need to see animals having sex all over the place. It's time. It's time for those spring things. It's time for Ostara, It's time for Easter. So, anyways, I love you guys. I hope you all have a great day. Sonia will not be live on Friday because she is out of town. So don't forget that. Katie reminded me of that this morning. So just keep that in mind. I have a pre-op visit with my surgeon on Friday. So send prayers up to the universe that, the doctor will know what to do. That's going to be the best for me for my healing. So, all right. Have a great day, everybody. I will talk to you all again soon. All right. Bye-bye. Oh.
Hello, everyone.
Thank you for coming to my show. I'll see you all next time. You all rock. Dolly loves you. Dance around the room. It's time to go. Why are you still here? Dolly needs a sandwich and a nap. I'll see you next time. Thank thank you all for coming. Thank you all for coming. I'll see you next time. Have a great day. Thank you for coming to my show. I'll see you all next time. You all rock.